Hello and welcome back, my dear students. Today we will learn about the grammar topic, that is verbs. There are two types of verbs, that is main verb and helping verbs. So today we will talk about helping verbs. Helping verbs are also called as auxiliary verbs. There are 24 auxiliaries or helping verbs in English language. They are further classified as primary auxiliary and modal auxiliaries or modal verbs or modals. So let us see what is primary auxiliary. Primary auxiliaries are the verbs to be form of verbs, that is verbs such as am, is, are, was, were, or to do verbs, that is do, does, did, or to have verbs such as have, has, had. So these are all primary auxiliary verbs. These verbs are used to form tenses, passive voice, questions, negative sentences, etc. Example: Radha does not trust Krishna. Here, does is the auxiliary or helping verb. Okay. Now next is they have worked for an hour. So have is the helping verb. Now let us see what are modal verbs or what are modals. So verbs like will, shall, would, can, could, might, etc. These are modals. Modals are used with main verbs to form sentences expressing permission, orders, obligations, request, etc. So if you want to express permission, request, obligations, orders, for these things we use modals. Now what are the characteristics of modals? Modal verbs have only one form. So like other verbs, there are V1, V2, V3 forms of verbs, isn't it? That is verb in present, past, or V3 form, past participle, or ing form. But modals do not have these forms. Modals have only one form. They does not add s or es to the third person singular form. For example, Tina can speak English. Now here can is the modal and here Tina is third person singular. So here, even though Tina is third person singular, we have not added s or es to the modal verb, that is can. We can't say Tina can speak English. Next example, he will visit Taj Mahal next week. Now will is the modal verb. Again here he is the third person pronoun. Here also we have not added s or es to will. It means modals doesn't take s or es for third person singular. Next, questions are formed without do or does in the present and did in the past. So when we form questions, along with main verbs, we use do or does in present tense and did in past tense. But modals does not take do, does or did to form questions. For example, can I join you? Now here can is the modal verb. So have we used here do or does? Now can I join you? This is present tense, but we have not used do or does here. See the second example, may I come in? This example is also in present But here also we have not used do or does. So we don't use do or does in present or did in the past along with modal verbs. Next, negative sentences are formed with not or the short form nt. Okay. So when we form negative, we add not to the modal verbs. For example, cannot, will not, would not. Or instead of not, we can use the short form, that is an apostrophe t. Okay. Now let us see the use of first modal, that is will. How to use will and when to use will. First, will is used in future tense. So when we talk about future, we use will. For example, she will come after 2 days. So here we are talking about future event. So when we talk about future, we use will. Next, to show the willingness. If you are willing to do something, we use will. For example, I will give you my book. Means I am willing to give you my book. So to show the willingness, we use will. Next, promise. So to make a promise, when you make a promise, you use will. For example, I promise that I will never repeat this mistake again in future. So when you make a promise, so that is also a future event and hence we use will. Next is voluntary action. If you are doing any action voluntarily, then you use will. For example, I will make the arrangements for the party tonight. Now for example, there is a party at your house and you are willing to do the arrangements for that party. So here you are voluntarily ready to do. So to show the voluntarily action, we use will. Next is prediction. When you predict something, means you are not sure or you don't have any proof that something is going to happen, but you predict it. So for prediction, we use will. For example, I think it will rain today. The next use is to show determination. If you are determined to do something, we use will. For example, we will overcome this situation soon. Now already we are facing through this pandemic, that is COVID-19. Right? So to overcome this situation, we are staying at home, using the mask. We are taking lot of precaution. It means we are determined to overcome this situation. So to show the determination, we use will. Next is to show polite request. If you want to request someone to do something, we use will. For example, will you please take out the trash? So here you are requesting someone to take out the trash. So to make a request, we use will. Now let us see the use of would. Past tense of will. Would is used as past tense of will in indirect speech. Now already you know what is direct and what is indirect speech. Direct speech means the actual words of the speaker, and indirect means someone else is saying whatever the speaker has spoken in his own words. Okay. So in direct speech we use will, but when we change direct into indirect speech, we use would. For example, she told me that he would help me. Now here, would is used as past tense of will, because this sentence is in indirect speech. Okay. Next is polite request in present. So next use of would is to make polite request in present. For example, would you please give me your books? So now here you are requesting someone to give books. So to make polite request, we can use would. Next is determination. I would keep my promise. So it means you are determined to keep your promise. So if you are determined to do something, we can use would. Next is polite offers. So if you are offering someone something, you can use would. For example, would you like to go to the exhibition? It means you are offering somebody to go to the exhibition. So for offers, we use would. Or would you like a cup of coffee? Okay. So when you offer something, use would. Next is desire. So if you have any desire, you can express it by using the modal verb would. For example, I would like to buy a bicycle. So the next modal verb is must. Must is used to show obligation. So when something is obligatory, it is compulsory, we use must. For example, you must obey your parents. It means it is obligatory on you to obey your parents. You must obey your parents. So to show compulsion, obligation, we use must. Next is necessity. So to show the necessity, if something is necessary, we use must. For example, students must pass an entrance examination to study at this school. So if you want to study at this school, you must pass an entrance exam. If you don't pass, you won't get the admission. So it is the necessary thing. Okay, so to show necessity, we use must. Next is strong recommendation. If you are recommending someone something, use must. For example, you must take some extra food along with you. Now suppose you are going for picnic. So your mother or your parents can recommend you to take some extra food with you, so that while traveling you may not face any trouble. So for recommending something, we use must. Next is certainty or possibility. If something is possible or certain, to express that, we use must. For example, you must be sleepy after the long trek. Now suppose you had been for trekking and after a long time you come back. So there is a possibility that you must be feeling sleepy. So to show the possibility, to express the possibility, we use must. Next usage is prohibition. Prohibition means to stop someone from doing something. So when we prohibit someone from doing something, we use the negative of must, that is must not. For example, Jennifer, you must not play outside after 7 p.m. So here Jennifer's parents are prohibiting her to play out after 7 p.m. as it is dark outside. So to show prohibition, we use negative of must, that is must not. The next is use of can. So can is used to show ability. It means you are able to do something. So to show ability, we use can. For example, I can dance very well. It means I am able to dance very well. Next is opportunity. We can stay with my mother when we are in the US. So here you are getting an opportunity to stay in with my mother when we go to US. So to express the opportunity, we use can. Next is request or permission. So for request or for taking permission, we use can. Can you hand me the stapler? So you are requesting someone to hand stapler to you. Next is possibility. So if something is possible, to show possibility, we use can. Any child can grow up to be a president. Here it is a possibility that any child after growing up can become a president. So to express possibility, we can use can. Next is use of could. So could is used to show possibility. For example, extreme rain could cause a delay in the matches. So there is a possibility that if it rains heavily, if there is extreme rain, then the matches could be delayed. So to show this possibility, use could. Next is to show the past ability, or to show your ability in the past. Means in past you were able to do that thing, but now you are not able to do that particular thing. So to show that past ability, we use could. For example, Sam could sing like a pro by the age of 1. So when Sam was by the age of 1, he could sing like a pro, but now he is not able to sing like a pro. So it was his past ability. So to express past ability, we use could. Next is suggestion. So you could wait or call again later. So to show the suggestion, to give suggestion to someone, we can say you could wait or call again later. Means here you are suggesting someone. So for suggestion, we can use could. Next is request or permission. So to make a request or for permission, we use could. Example, could I use your mobile to call my mother? Now suppose you are out somewhere and you are not able to go home, or you have faced some difficult situation. So at that time you can ask someone to give the mobile so that you can contact your mother. So for that purpose, for permission or for request, you can use could. Next is conditional. In conditional clauses, you can use could. So if there is any condition, so on that condition the second thing is possible. So for that conditional clauses, we use could. For example, had we started earlier, we could have reached in time. So here there is a condition that if we had started earlier, then only we could have reached in time. So in conditional clauses also we use could. Next is use of may. May is also used to show possibility. For example, Cyrus may be at home or perhaps at the work. So there is a possibility of Cyrus of being at home or at work. Next is giving permission. So if you want to give permission to someone, you can use may. For example, John, you may go out for a trip along with your friends. Now your parents are giving permission to John to go out along with his friends. Or may is also used to seek permission or ask permission. For example, may I come in? This is the common sentence which you use every day. Whenever you come to the classroom, you take permission of your teacher by saying, may I come in? Isn't it? Next is use of might. So might is also used to show possibility. For example, your luggage might be in the lobby. So there is a possibility of your luggage being in the lobby. Next, in conditional clauses, if you had called me, I might have come. So there is a condition that if you had called me, so only when you had called me, I might have come. Okay. So in conditional clauses also we use might. Next is suggestion. For example, you might visit the Taj Mahal during your visit to Agra. So here you are suggesting your friend or any relative that whenever you visit Agra, you might visit Taj Mahal. So to give suggestion also we use might. Next is use of need not. So need not is used to show lack of necessity or lack of obligation or absence of obligation. So means something is not necessary. So for that purpose we use need not. For example, I need not buy tomatoes. There are plenty of tomatoes in the fridge. So now see, as there are plenty of tomatoes in the fridge, it is not necessary to buy more tomatoes. So for that purpose we use need not. Next is use of should or ought to. So should or ought to can be used alternatively to talk about obligation. For example, I should or ought to see a doctor. I should or ought to see a doctor. I have a terrible headache. Now as I have a terrible headache, I am not feeling well. So it is compulsory or it is obligatory for me to visit the doctor. So to express obligation we use should or ought to. Next is advice. If you give advice to someone, you can use should or ought to. For example, you should or ought to revise your lessons. So your teachers, your parents advise you to revise your lessons before your exams, right? So that you can score good marks. So to give advice, we can use should or ought to. Next is logical conclusion. So if you draw any conclusion, you can use should or ought to. For example, he should or ought to be very tired. He has been working all day long. So after working all day long, anyone can feel tired. So it is a logical conclusion, right? So express this logical conclusion, we can use should or ought to. So I hope you have understood the modal verbs. So after watching this video, you need to make your notes. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you.